All right, hello everybody. My name is Master Chen.
This is Doxy.
And I'm Michelle.
And you are either watching or listening to Greynoise. This is episode 216 of the podcast. It is 7:30 p.m. on a Friday night, so we're here live at the SYN shop. That address is 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. Remember, go to synshop.org. That's SYNSHOP.org for more information on our Las Vegas local hackerspace. Even though it is Henderson, we are still Las Vegas. Anyway, for information on the classes and the stuff that we do here, go to meetup.com/synshop. We have a board meeting tomorrow. We have Lockpick coming around the corner, and we'll talk about that for a little bit too. Yeah. And all this other stuff, 3D printing, machining, all this crazy stuff that you can learn here. And for information on us as a podcast, go to Greynoise, GREYNOI.SE. Also, if you're not in the Discord, you should be, because we do live chats there. So if you want to be part of the show and actually participate in what the fuck we're talking about, please do so. You guys got any announcements?
Did you remember to bring that painting out and then not roll it out?
I didn't know where you wanted to put it.
We didn't know where to put it. We looked at it.
I don't care where you put it.
It's pretty cool.
Okay, so we have fan art. Wasn't this guy in England?
He is in England,
Yeah, and she just came from there. Okay, so we have fan art.
It's meant to be.
Actually, and we showed this like 2 months ago or 3 months ago, but hey, people are listening and they're drawing shit for us, so thank you. Okay, moving on.
So during this podcast, I thought I'd like to play games and challenges. So this time, I have a little challenge for myself. So I have a friend who told me to say 4 words during the podcast, 4 random words. I can't tell you the words.
Oh, okay.
And the point is, I'm supposed to say them casually, just like I would in like a challenge. And what I want you guys to do is, at the end of the show, I want you guys to guess which words that I say.
The 4 words?
The 4 words. Guess which words I was challenged.
Have you said one of them already?
I can't tell you that.
Wait,
It wouldn't be fair, but no, I haven't. So,
okay.
But, yeah.
Right.
Oh, now you just told him.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
What? Okay. All right.
All right, so how's everybody's week going? We're good?
It's Friday. We
Right.
made it.
Fine.
Got a new
Alive.
necklace. Everything's been good.
Oh, your new necklace. Oh, okay. Well, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so one thing I wanted to talk about, and it is somewhat hacker related, so I figured I'd bring it up, but
Okay.
my mom recently moved into the house where I grew up in. So she moved back there. We've had it the whole time, and the family's just kind of been renting it out.
Uh-huh.
But she moved back into the house where I grew up from like age 4 to 24, and it's fucking crazy. Like, I've never been hit with so much nostalgia in my entire fucking life, because I get there and I'm like, wow, like this is where for me it all started. I'm looking at the desk where I started hacking, where I started breaking shit or messing with things, and it's just fucking there. I'm like, wow. Like, I don't think that a lot of people get that opportunity to kind of like revisit where it all started.
I did. I went, but mine was a little bit different, and maybe it was like part like social engineering. But I actually went back. I lived in a house until I was
didn't
12.
social engineer, but
Until I was 12, and then I moved out. And then I was in my 20s, and I went back. This is like in Virginia, and I walk in, and I knock on the door. I'm like, "Hey, so I used to live here," and I started explaining my whole,
And they let you in the fucking house?
Yeah, and I was like, and so like I made friends with her, and she was just like, "Oh yeah, come on in, come look around." Let me to her kids' room, showing me her kids, showing me like some crazy stuff.
You have some trusting secondhand owners.
Seriously, well,
that
I
house.
mean,
I
lie well, yeah. So like I swear, like it was the craziest thing. Actually, one of the things, it was the nostalgia that you were talking about, was everything.
Is nostalgia one of your words?
No.
Okay, just checking.
It was everything felt smaller than what I imagined. But the craziest thing is actually one thing that was the weirdest thing, and I know you were saying nostalgia, is I walked in and there was literally a lampshade. They had the exact same lampshade that I had growing up.
They didn't Did you leave it there in the house?
No. It was maybe a common one, but it was like one of the ones that you can touch it and it changes.
Oh, okay, if it's the same one that I'm thinking about, it's the lamp that has like 3 different settings,
yes,
right?
And you touch
it 3 times, and it's like dim, not so dim, hella bright, and then off,
and
right?
it made me like weirdly happy that lampshade was still like not the same one, but I don't know. But anyways, it
That's very
has
strange.
nothing to do with hackering.
Did it reinvigorate your want to hack?
Well, yeah, so that's the thing, is so I'm sitting there at my old workstation, like the cabinets are there, the keyboard pull-out thing, the drawer thing for the keyboard, and it's all there. It's all still there. And I'm like, fuck, this is where it all began, and yes.
Did you guys just abandon this house and then come back? And
No. So like I said, we rented the house out. So like, as a
have been
family,
living
we've never lost ownership of the house. We just rented it out and, moved on with our lives. But now, my mom moved back there, and it's all kind of still there. And it was recently painted this week, but before it was painted, there's a drawing of a smiley face inside one of the closets that my sister drew when she was like 3.
Aww.
Like just crazy shit like that. Now that part has nothing to do with hacking.
It's real sentimental.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm the most sentimental host on this goddamn show.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not
You guys don't give a fuck. No, but I mean, like, it's
cute.
Oh, another thing too, though.
You're like a little puppy dog, like a little cockapoo. You're so cute.
No, all the old okay, here's the thing about longevity, right? Like all the old appliances from like the 90s, they're still working. The refrigerator still works. The washer and dryer still works. The microwave
same ones
still
you
works.
had.
Yeah.
What?
It all still works.
Because this is before planned obsolescence.
Yeah. So there's no smart anything in there, and it's great because it all still works, right? So, also
I actually applaud them for being very financially
Yeah.
Like, why replace it? But
There's no indoor lighting either, so you have to get those lamps that
What?
sit on the
It
side
has
of
to be
the-
plugged
There's
in.
no lights in the ceiling or anything?
No, you have to bring in a lamp that sits on the side of the room or
And
whatever.
does it have the light switch that's connected to the lamp, and then you have to figure out which one?
So
if you plug in
it's
your
easy to figure
iPhone?
out though because the outlets that are tied to the switches are usually upside down.
Oh.
Right. So like you have the 2 prongs on the top and one on the bottom for regular outlets, and then you find the outlet that is upside down, and that's the one that is associated with the light switch. Yeah.
I feel like I need to go home and test that.
Test that.
See if that's real.
Electrician.
Yeah,
Because
check it
that's
out.
awesome. If that's
I mean, I don't
the
know if
case.
they still do it that way.
But that
they did
actually
it-
makes me want to go and flip before I move. Just flip random
Outlets.
right.
just for fun.
Okay. Last bit of nostalgia too, though. When I first got there to check out the place, I saw the old gray box on the side of the house. Where old school landlines were hooked up. Copper wire and whatnot. That's the first landline I ever tapped. I put my beige box on it, my lineman's handset. Picked up the line.
Did you go try to tap it again?
Hell no. I don't have service on that. Everybody has cell phones now.
You'd be
You're
surprised.
not gonna tap a line that doesn't have service anymore.
I'm sure someone's using it, dude.
But I think I was like 12 years old. We're like, I hooked up the beige box to that gray box.
Yeah.
And when I picked up the phone, my mom was on the phone with some international call, and I was like, oh shit, this works. Click.
You didn't listen?
No, it was a different language. So what the fuck am I gonna
You gotta learn the language.
Yeah.
All right.
Or just
I did it
make
wrong.
weird noises and just mess with them.
No, that's fucked up.
Also,
Maybe
Anyway.
I'm a messed up person, but I'm like, what can I do with this? Like, I can mess with them. I can.
Yeah, don't trust her. She's the one that
Answer
lies to you. So anyway, that's my trip down nostalgia memory lane. So I'm excited.
I don't have anything to compare to that. Sorry.
Trust
No-
me, it
no
hits me in the
nostalgia?
feels, dude. Like, dude,
He don't care.
I went to my old
No one
room
cares.
and just laid there for like 20 minutes.
I
And was
did.
like,
That
"Man,
would have been weird if I
I
did
first
that.
had sex in here.
Oh, God.
I didn't
Sorry,
do
it's
that
the
because that
alcohol
would have been
talking.
weird if I went to the little kids' room.
yeah,
and,
yeah.
right in their door.
I wouldn't do it.
Anyways.
Yeah, but okay, here's the difference though. We still own the house, and you knocked on some random person's
Yeah.
door and said, hey, I actually I want to use that as a social engineering campaign now. Hey, I used to live here. Could I just go in and look at the place?
I feel like that would get you in quite a few places.
But I did like
Her, maybe, not me.
But I was like,
If you want,
my dad planted that apple tree in the back, and it was like, and I mean, I had information.
What if they were like, no, we just did that last week?
No, but he actually did. So
Okay, well,
so.
I'm assuming if you actually didn't live there.
If you didn't, that would be an issue. But I mean, to be fair, with apple trees, you can tell if they've been recently planted. If they're like a young tree, like I wouldn't pick like a small tree. It would have to be a big tree, like a established tree. You got to be smart about your
You're way more
lives.
knowledgeable on apple trees than I am. I obviously.
I mean, you just got to be smart about your stories. That's what I'm saying. Do your research.
Damn it! Research is the
So my nostalgia just became a lesson in social engineering, I guess.
There we go. Yeah, I got to go in and see the house, and it was a great time, and they were nice, really nice people. So
have you said any of the 4 words yet? Like apple tree.
all of them.
Oh, she said.
Really?
Wait, did
I'm
you
just
really?
kidding.
Oh shit!
You can't believe anything I say.
I know. Pay more attention.
Can't believe that either.
This whole story could be a lie. There could be no 4 words. I just want you guys to mess
Yeah,
with
now
me.
we're just getting really paranoid. Anyway, Doxy. Doxy, you wanted to talk about some phones, or what did you want to talk about first?
Why would I want to talk about phones? I
The
didn't say
fold.
about phones.
The fold was in the link dump.
Oh, I didn't put that there. Did
Oh,
I?
then never
You
mind.
did. But it's all
No,
right.
I wanted to. I want to talk about the Hong Kong protest first.
Oh yeah.
You
Okay.
went first? Okay.
No, that's actually pretty serious.
So we're gonna
story.
go really sad for a
We're gonna
while.
go
Yeah,
really
we're gonna go sad for quite a bit.
Go dark.
By a
Sad
show of hands, by the way, if you're watching at home, we have a live audience. So by a show of hands, hey! Maybe
They're yelling if you can't
maybe
hear
they
them.
can hear.
McNutt,
By a
shut
show of
the fuck
hands,
up.
who knows about the situation in Hong Kong right now, the protests and whatnot? Okay, perfect. So now, as we know, we try to not make this show political, but that shit is getting crazy. So I wanted to talk about it a little bit, only because it does have some hacker elements in it.
It does.
For people who don't know, can you bring us up to speed?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
There
basically,
you go.
in 1997,
Way
way the
back.
fuck back when,
I'll be back.
the British, you'll be back.
I was like 11, which is really sad.
Yeah, I was like 11 too. Oh fuck, we're doxing ourselves.
Oh,
In '97.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, so
How
in
old are you?
1997, the British released control of Hong Kong back to mainland China, but China at the time promised to keep it what we call a special economic zone, and they could conduct business as usual. So they, for
They
the
have
most
like their
part,
own laws and their own
yeah,
leadership.
they had their own
yeah.
laws and their own leadership. And Hong Kong, for the most part,
Almost like a
stayed-
city-state.
Exactly, they stayed pretty, not fully capitalistic, I don't think, but they stayed pretty free, pretty autonomous, independent,
Yeah,
and
autonomous is where they
liberal compared to
The rest
compared to the rest of
everywhere
China.
else.
Well,
China.
Yes. So recently, there's like a phrase for that: 2 systems, 1 family, or some shit. I don't know. So recently, though, Hong Kong has been protesting because mainland China has been enacting new laws that kind of puts Hong Kong back under the thumb of the Chinese
Well,
government.
that and I think Hong Kong itself has, and I think the issue is
Yeah,
that
it's just-
to understand the political structure there in Hong Kong. It is a democracy, but not more like a republic, because they are voting for a group almost like we have the electoral college, but they're voting for a group that elects the leader. And this group that they vote for, only a certain portion is actually voted by the population, and then there's another portion that's voted by the companies. And so with the companies, it actually is in their favor to lean more the rest of China because that's a business decision.
Right.
That's that helps the businesses. And so actually, when most of the population votes to be the autonomous, did I say that right? Is that right?
Autonomous?
No, that's not the right word.
Independent?
Independent, but I don't know. Anyways, they want to be separate from.
Wait, did you say any of
large-
the 4 words? I'm going to be asking you all night. Sorry.
Yeah.
You see what you've done.
Huh?
You see what you've done.
I
Don't
see-
be asking
I
all the
see
fucking
what I've done.
Sorry. I'm just paranoid now.
Yeah, it's all right. Everybody else should guess too. I would love that in the live stream if other people.
Oh
are
yeah,
guessing what
if
the
you're in
words
the
are.
live stream, guess what the words are, and I'll
Yeah,
take
if you
off
think
of
I've
your-
said one of the words or you heard one, just guess, and we'll see.
All right,
And
sorry,
then
continue with the
helps them.
story.
Okay, so, but anyway, so when the population itself, actually all the people in Hong Kong are the majority of them are they're independents. Because of the way that they have the voting structure, the legislature or whatever, a large portion of them are based on the companies, and the companies get votes. So it would be like the healthcare industry, the medical industry, the lawyers, whatever. And so because of that, because of the business sector, it actually swings more to the Chinese at large. So the people, while they have a vote, and it is, more like a democracy where they
Right.
can have a vote to
So-
the republic, it's not.
Right. So what we're saying is that's the current landscape
Yeah.
before the protests. Now, the protests started in about it was June. The protests have started in June, and I don't think it stopped. It has stopped at all. Like it's been daily protests from then to now. And recently, so the reason why it's in the news is recently one of the cops of the Chinese government or police men have murdered or killed one of the protesters, shot one of the
they've been
protesters.
firing on them.
Yeah.
Of course, the argument is that it is self-defense. And most recently, 11 hours ago, according to the
There were
BBC,
like 2 shootings today. Wasn't there like a 14-year-old today? And then
I'll have to fact check that one. I just know of the one murder.
it wasn't a murder. It's shooting. They just
shooting,
got shot.
okay,
They didn't get
sure.
murdered.
Oh,
So, yeah.
they're still alive?
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Cool. I
mean-
mean,
He's in critical condition.
critical
Still-
condition. Okay.
Still pretty fucking terrible.
No, I'm not saying it's.
It
I'm not
was
saying
a
it's a
14-year-old,
victory.
but a 14-year-old. I mean, they were still beating up.
No, so the age thing is an interesting thing too. So really quick, about 11 hours ago, according to the BBC, of course, China now has a new law or new rule saying you can't wear face masks so that we could identify you and so we
Yeah.
know who the fuck you are if you're protesting. And so that's kind of like the biggest issue so far is that we have this. So it's censorship on a crazy level. But I mean, who's surprised? It's China.
Yeah, I mean, because they're censoring everything on Twitter and Instagram. Like they're
course.
removing, deleting posts and all that stuff. So it's like obviously a major thing.
Yeah, it is a major thing, and but I wanted to bring up the whole 14-year-old thing because remember we're talking about 1997 to now. That's like 23. Wait, what year are we in?
But
That's
it's, still,
22.
it's supposed to go until 45, right? 2045?
Perhaps I don't know, but it's what I'm saying is it's 22 years. There are kids close to our age or not so far that have no idea of what actual Chinese communism is, and now they're getting kind of a taste of it, and they're probably rage quitting or
Yeah.
raging. Community
Mike?
Mike.
You never said why they were protesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right.
So we can go into a little bit about their protests. So I want to say it goes back to there was a guy who took his girlfriend to Taiwan and murdered her, and then came back to Hong Kong. But there's no law to extradite. So
Oh, right.
there's
It was
no
an
way.
extradition. Mhm.
Yeah, there's no way to hold him accountable for this crime because it happened in Taiwan, and he was now in Hong Kong. And so they started trying to pass laws to have extradition to Taiwan, but also that would mean to the rest of China. And so that was like a big thing that was taking away some of their liberties and their rights of being able to be extradited from Hong Kong and charged with crimes in the rest of China.
I mean, would you want to be extradited back to China?
I would not. No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
To Taiwan.
Well, that would be Taiwan, but that also allowed the ability to be extradited to the rest back to China. So in this one instance, yes, maybe that guy should have been extradited and actually charged with the crime, but that impacts everybody else in Hong Kong and allows
You're saying
that
it sets a precedent.
precedent, yeah, that allows them to be extradited back to China as well, and mainland China, for crimes. And that's the other thing with the Chinese government. They suspect a crime, and that's not right.
So full disclosure, the last time I was in China was 2006,
Yeah.
and I completely forgot that I had a set of lockpicks on me.
Oh, gosh.
As I was going through, and so right as I'm about to go through customs, I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know if they know what this is. I don't want to find out, so I actually tossed them, and I figured I'd buy another set at DEF CON the next year or later that
Smart
year.
choice.
Yeah, because I don't want to end up in a fucking 9x9 cell or whatever the fuck.
We definitely wouldn't be doing this
Understandable.
podcast right now.
Convenience.
Yeah. So, but yeah, what I'm saying is to get into a Chinese jail is pretty serious, and I would totally throw away contraband.
I feel like they should make like a Netflix episode on this, on everything that it's
On the Hong
crazy.
Kong protests?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's coming.
He's coming. Yeah.
You think so?
Of course, why wouldn't it?
I don't know.
Well, it's crazy. What I actually really admire of the Hong Kong protests, and we can get into more of it. It's I know, but do you know what their actual motto is? Because I'm not.
Hong Kong protest?
Yeah, it's like make like water or be like water, and it's like this.
How you say it in Chinese? No, keep talking.
Okay. Anyway, so basically the idea is that it's actually really inspiring. They're very creative. They have actually groups of people who want when there's tear gas.
Oh, I think I remember how to say it in Chinese.
Okay.
Don't trust China. China's asshole. I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding. Jesus Christ. Okay, go ahead.
Wow.
Get it?
So they
Oh,
take
come on,
they
guys.
actually
Stay
take these
relevant.
traffic cones and they put them over the tear gas and
Oh,
stop
yeah,
it from
yeah, I've
spreading,
seen
and
that,
they
yeah.
pour water on it.
Yeah.
And they actually it's it's like amazing to watch, and they have like these
warfare
ways,
hacking.
Urban warfare hacking, and it's amazing to watch. And they're fluid, and they'll even like they're so they use AirDrop with Apple devices, so it's not trackable, and to get the information across, they use I was looking at what was it the messaging device.
WhatsApp?
No,
WhatsApp.
They don't WhatsApp. They
WeChat.
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 Is it
no,
WeChat?
no. They use.
We're getting fact checks from the audience,
I
right?
only know WeChat and WhatsApp.
No, they use Telegram. Thank you. Telegram is what they use because that can actually support like millions of people.
On
like
one
on
thread?
one. I'm not sure,
Or, okay.
but they actually did have a security issue with Telegram recently, back this year, that there was a vulnerability that would allow the numbers of the people to be leaked, and that's like obviously
That's a huge deal.
huge issue. So Telegram's actually been helping the protesters and trying to be, to improve the security for it. And so they can actually send out these messages. Their names encrypted, all the communications are encrypted. Their names are hidden, so, and they do say actually now that they do recommend getting burner SIM cards.
Well, so
Yeah.
But it's not everybody can do that.
This use of technology or this implementation of technology reminds me of what was it called in Egypt? Was that Arab Spring where they used? Yeah, it was Arab Spring where they used
Color revolutions.
the what? Color revolutions, where they're using technology to like. It doesn't necessarily have to be connected to the internet to communicate in the vicinity.
Which is good because we just got a thing in the live stream where starting December 21st, all internet-enabled devices, you have to face scan to use the internet on those devices.
Yes, we're talking
And
about,
they've actually, so that's the other thing is they've removed their fingerprint and face scan, so that way the police, so there's a law in China that they can't force you to reveal information.
I believe that's here too.
But yeah,
Right,
here as
yeah.
well. But the fingerprint or face scan, that's not necessarily hidden information. So they actually removed that from their iPhone and stuff, and it looks like they're trying to add that maybe in other ways.
Yeah, no, you have
Yeah.
to face scan to use the internet. You can't
Yeah.
get on the internet without
So
it.
that's
Hey,
the
Dubsy,
information
look at my
they can
phone really
force
quick
you.
so I can use the internet. Community mic.
I wouldn't expect any sort of movies or television out of this
it's
because
gonna-
Chinese media owns a good proportion of American media.
Well,
That is
So
true.
the movie theaters, production, it's almost primarily funded by the Chinese now. So don't expect any sort of negative propaganda.
That's why people don't talk badly about the Chinese in movies and stuff. That's like
and we don't even have their username, their domain name.
And we don't talk shit about Sweden. We're not owned by the Swedish, but I'm saying.
I mean,
Yeah, sorry, that was a
Anyways,
tangent.
but so with them, they have. It's actually really cool. So they'll be the protests, and they'll start when the police will show up. They'll actually have already moved on because they're actually so fluid that you can see videos of them like parting way. This huge crowds parting way for ambulances to come through, and like they have like this system of. Communicating this to what supplies they need, like a supply chain, and they'll even have like hand signs and stuff, and it's amazing to watch the coordination between the protesters, and that's what we said, they like make like water or something like that, where they
Make like water. Okay, so
Yeah,
I don't
so
know
they're
how I would
trying to
say
be
that
fluid
particular
and
slogan,
moving.
That's Bruce
but I
Lee
could say
Yeah.
as if I was water. That would be like 好像我是水. So,
yeah.
I mean,
so maybe that sounds good. I like it.
I
I
mean,
mean
I
that's
can't
not
repeat it,
that's
but-
not slogan worthy because it's too long.
I don't know.
It's too long.
You would know better than us.
Be water. What about
Be
that?
like water, right? That's Bruce
Just
Lee.
be water.
是水. Yeah, I
Okay.
guess. I don't know.
Okay.
It sounds
but-
good.
So and it's actually cool because other people are getting. So they started doing dye. So they mark the protesters with the water cannons and mark them with dye. And then there would be people in the subways when they go to the subways to go home. There are people who just want to support it, who are on their way home that just buy passes with cash or whatever with their cards, and they leave them there for other people who are at the protests because they're they're checking their credit cards and people who are leaving after the protest. And they actually had people bringing clothes for the people who got dyed and just leaving them there in the subway for people to change so they couldn't track them anymore and find who was the protesters and stuff. It's actually really cool. It's just like it's inspiring a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
it's horrible.
I'm
but-
not. Oh, it's very horrible. Okay, now I am not saying that my money is on the Chinese government.
No, I mean,
Okay, what I'm saying here is that they have an uphill battle. The people have an uphill battle.
they do, but they admit it. If you
Right.
you listen to the talks with them, they will even say like, we're probably gonna lose, but we can't not do anything.
That's
That is
resilience.
inspiring.
That's
Yeah.
fucking resilience. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's great. It's crazy, and
but-
they.
So it kind of speaks to it kind of speaks to a hacker ethos, right? Like, where there's a will, there's a way. We will figure it out.
But they're like making luggages, taking luggages apart, making suitcases out of luggage, like
body armor.
Yeah, body
That's
armor. Yeah,
fucking cool,
and
man.
They're taking
How's that not
tinfoil. Like
cool?
there's people in the street. Like you can see videos of people just taking tinfoil and wrapping their IDs because their IDs have chips in them. So they can wrap their IDs
So
up
make,
and
like, Faraday
make a little,
cages on the
little
spot.
Faraday cages, on the spot with their ID cards and stuff. And it's like it's crazy to watch. It's like it's inspiring. And these are young people because this is when it's 2045 comes around. This is their generation. You know, this is when they're coming up. These people, and it's like crazy. I don't know.
That's it's going to be interesting to watch, and I'm not just trying to be a spectator here, but it is. I don't know what else to say. It's going to be interesting to watch.
You know what I would love, and that I like to watch John Oliver. I mean, his show, and I think he's really funny and really cool. And he always does something. I think it would be really cool if people started posting on social media, because they're not allowed to wear those masks to stop the protests, to try to stop the concealment. If people just started putting them, taking pictures and sharing them on social media and some sort of hashtag like John Oliver would do, and people just to support them, just to say look, we're behind you, we see what's happening there. I don't know if they would see it,
Greynoise
and
is
I
gonna
might be
start a
crazy.
Twitter campaign.
Twitter campaign.
We've tried before.
We
you?
have hashtag subnet mask. No, I'm
What?
kidding. I'm kidding.
Subnet mask. Such a nerd.
Shut up. Get it? Oh, did I get a slow clap? Come on, subnet
Yeah,
mask.
slow clap.
Totally relevant. Fuck you guys. No.
But that would only work with such a. So we have to do
did I?
something like Hong Kong support or something. Like it has to be something easy. You can't. This is why campaigns don't work with you, because you're trying to be clever.
Careful, I don't want to spit on my laptop. Anyway, now I had a thought and I drank it away.
Drink it away.
All right, Doxy, do you have any thoughts?
No, I mean it'll be interesting to watch it evolve over time and see what happens. It's tough to watch.
It is.
But it's an important thing happening.
I will say the one advantage that they have now versus 1989 during the Tiananmen Square thing is, I think, for the most part, news can disseminate faster than you can censor it, which is why we know about it here.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Because in 1989, the U.S. wouldn't have known this shit. They would have covered it up quicker than we could have got the information. Now it's almost become an impossibility, and I think that's what the people have on their side. So
Yeah.
Community Mike.
I think it's going to be very useful to study those techniques and import them here for the Trump 2020 campaign when he wins, and we have to go kind of scorched earth.
We are not a political show, so we won't get too much into that, but
Yeah.
interesting thought.
And,
Sure. I mean, sure. I'm just watching.
All right.
You can do it either way.
So I would say that I was thinking about it really, because I'm a very empathetic person, if you believe it or not.
I don't.
I know.
No.
Nobody
You don't
believes
have
it.
to. Nobody
You lie
believes
for a living.
But I do. I like to put myself in other people's shoes and how I would respond. And it's hard to if I was there, it's almost inspiring. Would I want to fight? Would I want to help or try to do something, or would I just try to leave the country or just try to? Because
Would you leave the country?
If something like this was going on,
Yeah.
I honestly don't. I don't think so. I don't know honestly.
Would you participate in the protests?
I like to think I would, but you never know until you're in that situation.
I don't. So here's the thing. I think it depends. If I had a family there, if I had people invested in that area, and kids that I wanted to stay there, maybe. If I didn't, then I just why invest in a future in somewhere that is going to be part of China in 2045, regardless. Which maybe it'll change, but that's.
It won't change if everybody leaves.
That's true, and that's the other thing is if everyone took the safe route and was like, yeah, I'm just fuck that shit, I have one
roll
life,
over.
but in Cuba, the protests and all the other different places, nothing would have changed, even the revolution in America, if
We
they
wouldn't have in America,
yeah,
or
But-
we wouldn't have the USA.
Yeah,
Would
the
you say?
United States. Would I say? I don't know. Like you said,
I don't know what I
Doxy. It kind of you can philosophize until
Until you're in the
until the
situation.
situation actually comes up. So I don't know. But China has a very long history of fighting, of war, of rebellion. The Boxers' Rebellion against the British in the 1800s. Or late 1800s,
which is
1900s.
how Hong Kong became Hong Kong, is because the British had Hong Kong, and then they gave it back to China,
Yeah.
and they became that agreement that they would stay its own place until 2045. Sorry.
I don't think that's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna hold up. 2045 is a long time from now.
Yeah, I mean,
Not that long.
China wants to adopt
Not that
Yeah.
long.
now. That's why they haven't.
We can't hear you at the moment, but okay.
If you come to community mic.
If you come to community mic, if
We
you
can
want,
hear
we
you.
can. You're not going to be on camera this time, so if you want, you can share that idea. Dead audio, right? Dead air. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't. I do admire the people who are these young people who feel passionately about.
Yeah, it is definitely worth being, or it's worth admiring.
I would actually prefer if it were me. I would actually want to be like the people making the propaganda and like encouraging the people in the background. But I mean, that's kind of cowardly.
I feel like you don't
but
get-
there has to be like I'm sure that in protests like this, there are minds behind the movement. There are people who are like encouraging the people who are spreading the
Like the
information.
organizers?
Organizers, yes, who aren't necessarily the ones who are out there on the street.
You need a mastermind.
Yeah.
You always do. Community mic.
No, there's a culture. It's just this is how we behave. We don't have that here.
We do not.
There's a big difference.
That's
Yeah.
true. Okay.
And so
Good point.
I feel like in smaller pockets we do.
So
but
I would
not-
have no role, is what he's saying. I would either have to.
You're calling yourself the mastermind? God damn. No, but you
I
bring
won't
up
be able to do what I
you bring up
wanna
a good
do.
point though.
Yeah.
Maybe this is an operation that doesn't need a mastermind.
the spending for the bus tickets, the leaving of the clothes,
Yeah.
the helping one another, that speaks to a very deep cultural ties to one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You drive by people on the freeway that just got run over. You know, that's America,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's a significant difference there.
Sad but true.
It's sad, but I don't know. It makes me want to like buy train tickets and send them to China. I don't know.
I mean, there must be other ways that
Help,
we can
yeah,
help,
yeah.
and we should look at them and post them for people to see.
We'll find it.
Any ideas? Community.
And we can look it
We're
up.
open.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Okay. Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Yes.
Doxy's homework.
Oh, God.
So now that we've solved the world's problems, let's talk about phones, Doxy.
We're not talking about phones. We're talking about overtime.
Oh, fine. Let's
Overtime,
talk about
yeah.
overtime,
How
Doxy.
much overtime do you work, and how much overtime do you think is appropriate to work?
0 and 0. Go ahead.
Michelle?
So it depends. What are you investing in? Like, what is it that if
I
you're
mean,
investing?
that's-
for
You're
someone
investing in a
else-
9-to-5 job.
That's-
That, let's say they don't give a fuck about
let's
you.
say for this
Yeah,
scenario,
then none.
this scenario, your job.
So if it's a company that you own or you're a part of, then it makes more sense to invest more time. But if it's just a company you work for, then no. Like if it's just a salary, if it's just the job. But at the same time, I'm also very much an all or nothing person. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
And so why?
Could you do it right in 8 hours?
Sometimes
Maybe.
it's not possible.
Sometimes, yeah.
Then could you carry it over the next day?
But why wait a whole nother day when you could just get it done in a couple of extra
And be
hours?
done, yeah. But
I
I
thought
mean,
I'm the type A. What the fuck?
I'm very confused about your stance, honestly.
Because okay, when I pick up a project like that I want to work on, it's because it's my project, right? I'm gonna be presenting this at DEF CON, let's say, or I'm gonna be working on this.
We're talking about work, not
No,
your
no,
DEF CON
that's what I'm
presentation.
saying. Is like that's where my passion is. My passion isn't in like.
Yeah, but your passion isn't work. My passion is not work either, for sure.
my passion's at work, though.
we
So
all
it's
know.
different for me.
Yeah, but don't you have a personal stake in your company?
I mean, I would, yeah, I would, you know.
That's different.
See, that's
Want
that's
to-
our
Because you
difference.
have a
here.
personal tie to it, so of course it
Yeah.
means more to you than our companies do to us.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah.
I mean, not to say that I don't work.
I mean,
long
don't get me
hours
wrong.
sometimes.
I care about the company that I work for. I care about.
Do you though?
I mean, yeah, but
That was very good. You need to get better
Very
at lying if
very
you're going to do social
convincing.
engineering.
no. All I'm saying, look, I care about doing good work
Yeah.
That doesn't tie to your company though.
until
That
5 o'clock.
That ties to you.
Until 5
Well,
o'clock.
that's what I'm saying.
You want to do good work. It doesn't matter who you're working for.
That's true.
Yeah, but also, again, like let's say you're coordinating teams or something happens off hours that you can't account for. Like sometimes you just have to work late, or you have to work overtime or whatever. You just sometimes you just can't avoid it.
I guess it depends on how much.
Like if you have employees in other regions, in other countries or whatever, or if a project needs to happen after hours or something like that because it's user facing or whatever, sometimes it's unavoidable.
Okay. I'll have to agree with you there for a little bit because I remember at the company that we used to work at together.
We never work together.
Shut up.
Awkward.
I mean, yeah, we never worked together. Sorry, Doxy. Anyway, so the company that I used to work at a while ago,
And somebody else might have worked out.
and somebody else might have worked there. Did you say the 4
Did
words
you
yet?
guys work together?
Shut up. Okay, so There are times where like, yeah, you had to do things after hours so that like, let's say clients weren't on the phone when you're trying to fix a phone system or whatever. I understand that part. And of course, if you're trying to build the system better for like, let's say better redundancy or better handling in general moving forward, then yeah, you'd want to work a little bit after hours. But in the long run, it saves you time.
During
the long
business
run.
hours.
Yes. So like, because like let's say because you invest like I don't know 10 hours in overtime, you no longer have to handle that one particular ticket that was a thorn in your ass.
Right.
You know,
That's
So,
an
I mean-
interesting turn of phrase.
thorn in your side. Sorry.
I do agree with you on some level that you shouldn't ever work overtime, but I just feel like it's unavoidable in the culture, especially in IT engineering type cultures.
Wait,
Like,
are
it's
you
just
getting paid for the overtime? That's a
I
different
mean,
question.
I feel like at most of our level, at the level most of us are at, we're salary, so no. Right? Maybe in the form of a bonus, maybe.
But I mean, like, you also have flex time. Like, hey, I put in 12 hours today. I'm gonna go home after lunch.
But
tomorrow.
is there not anything with like feeling accomplished in what you do in your work?
no.
Like I feel like when I have something that I'm supposed to do and I do it well and I do it right, I feel good. Like, and that to me is, I mean, maybe I'm.
No,
You're
I
welcome.
mean, I do feel good in the sense that I know people will leave me alone. As long as I'm doing my job and doing it well and like getting stuff done, I know that no one's ever going to bother me about stuff. Because I mean,
But you don't have a personal sense of accomplishment, even if no one knows. But like, so I just recently.
if no one knows, I'm probably not doing it.
Oh, well then I don't know about
Unless
your
it's-
work ethic.
unless it's something that needs to get done.
I'm not hiring you.
Unless it's something that needs to get done. Like why? Like what is it that
Well,
I'm
I
working
wouldn't
on?
do something if it didn't need to be done. But
Okay, hold
if I
on, hold
needed,
on. I work on things that'll make things easy for me later, whether or not somebody's looking. So.
But is that a sense of accomplishment when you do?
Fuck yeah! Are you kidding me? Like, if I don't have to do that shit like 2 months down the line ever again, yeah, I'm gonna automate that shit.
I mean, but automation is like such a.
It's
not
my
a-
favorite thing to do.
I was not a standard thing, but it is a standard thing. Like I mean, everything is infrastructure as code, all that stuff. Like it's all automation now. Like
Yeah,
it's not.
and
a-
it's my favorite thing to do. It
I-
got me out of the last 2 jobs.
I feel like anybody who's not doing that is just.
But what if you can't? I mean,
I
some
mean,
things
some,
you can.
some things you can't.
Yeah.
Some things for sure
Like,
you
I
cannot.
can't
I want to
automate social engineering.
I want to automate a bot that just talks to Doxy all day, and then I'll just read the transcript later and be like, okay,
I don't even talk that much though.
no, you don't. It's still worth my time.
Is it worth your time?
I don't know. Lunch? Sorry.
All right, for sure.
Which, by the way, I didn't reach out to you, so that's why we didn't go to lunch. I'm sorry.
That's a conversation for afterwards.
I'm not ever invited to lunch, so.
Oh, we gotta add you to the group.
Oh God.
Oh, this is awkward.
Is awkward one of the words?
Have you said any of the
Oh,
words?
long pause. Long pause.
Have you said any of the words?
Maybe.
She did.
Okay.
And I think awkward is one of them because she had a long pause.
Nice. Good,
Spaghetti.
good catch.
Yeah. All right. All right. So final thoughts on this then. I think overtime is warranted if one, you're getting paid, and if you're salaried, is it worth it for you in the long run? Like, let's say you automate that process that will never give you headaches ever again. Yes.
I feel like some, even beyond that, even if you're not automating a process, sometimes it's inevitable. Like I said, you work with overseas teams or whatever, and sometimes things just can't be done.
Yeah, I work with people in Prague all the time, and last night I had to call at 11:30 at night.
And like you can't
mean,
automate a call.
I can't automate that.
You sure? Have you ever heard of Lenny on Asterisk?
But this is
I would
information I
love
needed.
to see you put Lenny in for a conference call you're on.
Maybe
we do
later.
that?
Maybe later.
But this was a one-on-one call. It's not the same thing.
All right. Fair.
All
right.
right. I think it's. I mean, obviously situation based, but
Yeah.
it's inevitable sometimes. and
I'm happy.
Okay. While it's
to do
inevitable,
overtime,
I
'cause
would
feel like
say
it's worth it.
You should strive
it to a minimum.
You should strive for no or the
Minimum.
least amount of overtime as possible.
Like.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to work.
By the way, it's
after-
not that we don't want to go above and beyond for the cause.
No,
but
I mean,
fucking pay me.
don't. I don't want to go above and beyond.
Yeah, that's fair.
Why? Why? They're not paying me unless it's something I truly believe in or I'm like really hyped
that's
up about it for whatever
understandable,
reason. I got Overwatch to play.
All right, we have phones to talk about.
Overwatch play.
Do we?
Phones. You have
keep
phones?
saying you keep saying that.
keep
Didn't
talking
you want to
about
talk about the foldable
You
phone?
keep saying that. I don't know what you're
Hold on,
talking
community
about.
mic.
So I'm gonna assume we're all like working on open source projects when we're going home. So it's like two jobs anyways. So you're telling me that I would have to work extra at this other job that maybe I don't even really need. Maybe I don't really need the extra money. And that means that I get to work less on projects I actually care about that kind of sucks. But on the other hand, like say with my own business, I don't mind putting in 12 hours because I know that like I'm building a product that's going to get me something like it's going to make my work easier, and that means I can do more open source stuff. So
I mean,
I like that.
In a dream
Yeah.
world, we would all work on our passion projects full time, but
Well, I'm really trying to get it to where I only work like say 30 hours or 25 hours a week, and then I can do open source stuff the rest of the time. That's
I mean-
my goal.
not that it's all of our goal, but I feel like that would be a thing. Not necessarily open source projects, but passion projects.
Sure,
rather.
sure.
Everybody wants to work on passion projects. It's just not feasible most of the time. You know, you got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And a lot of that.
Do we though, or is it that we just want to have?
I mean, if you
more
don't
I
have
mean,
to,
we
money?
do have
if
to
you
pay the
don't
bills.
have to, I would love to live where you live. If you don't have to pay any bills,
Wait, you don't pay bills? What the fuck? Wait, did I miss something?
you should pay attention.
I'm paying attention. I'm just
I-
addressing things.
Drink.
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 Wait, everybody or just
but
him?
yes.
No, I just
I'm not
believe
sure.
in like
More
making.
alcohol.
I just believe in like kind of downsizing certain things, like you know.
Prioritizing the things that are important to you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's a great. Thank you. That's an
Anyways.
important part of life.
But yeah, don't work overtime unless it's for your own product.
I mean, yeah, if you're trying to learn the product or service anyway for your own benefit, sure, I'd do it. Like for instance, machine learning, data analytics. If that's something I'm doing on a side project, then what is it? What
Why not?
overtime
Yeah.
will kill you?
Yeah.
Did you say what overtime will kill you?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like, it wouldn't hurt you if it's going to benefit you on your own side projects.
Yeah, but I mean,
Completely unrelated, but same principle.
there is like work exhaustion or just general.
I don't get exhausted.
Okay,
I get drunk.
But like, so how this is actually something I was thinking about last week, is how much do we put into self-development outside of work? Like how much do we like, so recently I've started learning Czech just to challenge myself because I've already know Spanish
Okay.
a little bit. And so I'm at the point in Spanish with my knowledge that I would have to speak with someone in Spanish every day. And so learning another Latin language, I was like, that's not as exciting or challenging.
Wait, is Czech a Romance language?
No.
No, she said she doesn't want to learn.
It's a
another
Slavic
Oh,
language.
she doesn't.
language.
She doesn't want.
Yeah.
to My bad. She doesn't want to
it's
learn
a Slavic
another
language, yeah.
Latin language. Okay, got
Because
it.
I like to challenge myself. And so my company that I work with has a Czech branch. And so it's like, well, why not? Because I have people I could talk to in Czech. I could, learn that. So I'm working on learning Czech. But that's like that. Like it does help
Time
tiny
out.
bit.
If you married somebody from the Czech Republic,
gonna
would that
fight
be a
you.
checkmate? I got to clap. I got to clap. All right.
I'll give that a clap.
I had to.
I wasn't
Okay, go
expecting
ahead.
that.
Sorry.
Please don't encourage him.
Sorry.
Please do not.
I like
Checkmate.
corny jokes. I like
Checkmate.
high five. Okay,
Thank you.
high
I
five down.
refuse.
Checkmate's
I
amazing.
refuse.
Come on.
I refuse.
Checkmate, that's funny. Okay.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. I apologize. Go ahead.
Anyway, but like self-development, what do we do to encourage, like, to learn? Like, I mean, I guess it does help with social engineering to learn lockpicking. But I've recently, like we talked about earlier, I've been learning lockpicking, like to the point where it's past the point where I'm going to really use it for social engineering. Because if they're at the point where I'm having to pick best locks, they're probably okay with their lock system, and we're not going to critique them on that. But it's still like,
Wait, how would you use that in a social engineering context?
well, I could pick a best lock. Well, not social engineering, but physical.
Oh, physical security. Okay, yeah.
security.
Okay, got it.
Sorry, yeah. But I mean, social engineering, I could get them distract them and have them go do something while I pick a lock and whatever. But I mean, that's just context. But
Yeah. Got you.
either way, sorry. So physical security, like, I do physical security, but most physical security testing is, is their door fitted right? Is there, these are like obvious things. You don't have to get to the lock picking point of it. And if you do, it's usually like just raking a lock. But I still am pushing myself to learn because it's interesting, and it's something that you develop a skill and stuff. Like, is there stuff that people?
But it's also a job function. Like you need to know that, right? Like it's part of your daily duties.
I
in a
mean, I'm
sense.
not daily needing to pick best locks.
Not daily,
Or
but
daily
like
needing to
it's
pick
definitely
medical
something
locks.
that'll come up. Maybe not best locks, but like locks and whatnot. Like
Not
this is
But
all part
there's
of
a
your.
point where I could stop though, but I'm continuing to push myself.
But who wants to stagnate?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Become
saying. Like,
stagnant.
who wants to, like? But is that? I don't know. Do you guys push yourselves in like other areas, try to challenge yourselves?
I would say, bottom line, it depends on context.
I appreciate when my job incentivizes me to learn more. I mean, I like to learn things for my own purposes, but it's hard to do it when you don't have a goal or project in mind. Like if I'm not going to be using it in the near future or at any point in the future probably that I can think of, like it's kind of hard for me to wrap my mind around why I would want to learn
Yeah,
it.
I mean that makes
Because
sense.
it's like I can make my own projects, but they're bullshit projects that no one's going to look at, not even me, and then I lose all interest, right? So what's the point?
You don't revisit old code and projects?
But I do think.
I haven't been on Chinbox in 25 years.
But I do think that there is a point
I'll
to
delete your account
learning
then.
things.
Don't do that.
There's a point to learning things that it grows your brain and it can be applied in other areas of your life, even if you don't like use it like day to day. Like I think that training your brain to learn new things is a skill. Even just with learning Czech, I've realized how bad I've gotten at memorizing things, because I used to in day to day life memorize things constantly, and now my brain has stopped learning how to memorize.
Because
Like
your
I
phone
can learn.
remembers everything.
Yeah, if I didn't have
I
like
was gonna
my
say must be the
reminders,
alcohol.
well,
Alcohol.
Yeah.
That's the word.
You drunkie.
I'm not drunk. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't say the alcohol. You said alcohol, so it can't be the word. But now I did. But I don't know. Anyways.
Well,
But my point is self-development. Like how much
self-development.
is it important to you guys?
I mean, self-development I think is definitely very important, depending on what you want to get out of your current career and your future career. Like if you have a goal for where you want to move on to after whatever current position you have, self-development is very important because you need those skills to progress to the next chapter of your life or whatever.
So you would never just do something, even if it didn't have anything to do with chapter or career or anything, just to learn. Like I'm learning Czech. It's not going to help me in my career because I want to challenge myself and grow my brain. And
I have a philosophy that if you stop growing, you start dying.
I mean, I started that a long time ago.
I mean that's the thing.
I think I do that. Maybe not as aggressively as you do, but I think I do that in smaller instances. I'm not looking at you, Chen. I'm looking at
He says we study too much.
Study too much.
I didn't say that.
I don't study anything.
I said
mean,
I very specifically said you.
We try too hard.
We won't get into it on the air.
No, say it. What did you say?
Oh,
I forgot. No, he said
I don't
something
know.
about it. I forgot.
I forgot.
All right. Well, anyway, it depends on context.
Yeah.
Learning a new skill is up to you. Whether you want to call it overtime or not, that's up to you.
It is overtime. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
I think-
Learning a new skill and
Because
working
that's something
overtime.
for yourself. Like you're
Yeah,
investing in
th-
yourself.
So that's not necessarily overtime.
Yeah.
Sorry, my thing was specifically towards work, like your work environment, like working overtime for your employer, unless your employer is yourself, which doesn't count because obviously you're going to work harder for yourself than you're going to work for some faceless corporation.
So why is everyone not working for themselves?
Because that is not feasible in this country.
I'm just teasing.
Me and Shin have talked about this a lot also.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: he doesn't agree with me.
I
Yeah.
don't. Obviously, you can tell from the rise in my
But this
voice.
is
I know
good.
he's like, by the way, fucking Chen is wrong, but
I mean,
But it's good. I really believe that controversy is wonderful.
I mean, I think I don't think everyone should work for themselves. It's definitely not feasible, and I don't think everyone should either way. Even if we could,
Not everyone has the personality to work for themselves.
and some people are just fucking stupid.
True story.
but not our audience. We love you guys.
You guys can all do whatever.
No
you want.
pointing fingers.
Okay.
that
Anyway,
was an
Anyway.
example of how not to point fingers.
fingers is one of the words.
You kept bringing up something about a duo. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I thought you were talking about the screen.
The Windows Duo phone screen.
Okay, yeah. So I was talking
The
to
Surface
one of our listeners here in the audience. So it's I guess Windows or Microsoft's attempt at a dual screen foldable phone.
But I think it's running Android.
But it runs Android.
Yeah.
So
What?
you're our senior mobile correspondent. Do you have thoughts on this?
so I def-
Your mobile correspondent, is that
yeah,
just a role?
we're a legitimate news show. Go ahead.
Okay.
I
I
definitely-
want to know what my title is.
I definitely posted that link. And
Senior check.
I tagged Akeen in it a couple of days ago, and he talked about it, but then I disappeared, so I didn't get to talk to him about it.
So no.
But I do think Microsoft makes good hardware. The Surface laptops and stuff, and the Surface tablets and the laptop stuff are really well made devices. So I'm kind of excited to see their Duo phone and their take on it versus the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Although I still think, as a concept, foldable phones are fucking stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see a practical application for it.
Either I would have a regular phone or I would have a tablet. There is no world in which I would want both at the same time.
But I mean, we've talked about it. It's like, where else do they innovate? It's already a black slab of glass.
Put it in my arm or something. Let me do stuff in my arm. Like, let's move away from the black slab.
It's
Let's
like
do
you
other
do
stuff.
the Fallout, like
Yeah, give me one of the Pip Boy. Give me the Pip Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the. I'll wear a sleeve of a giant fucking
I
monitor
would
on my
not wear a
arm.
Pip Boy.
Yeah, but I don't
Sorry.
see the use case for a foldable phone. I'm sure some people will love it, like people who like fly a lot, maybe.
Porn that you could fold in half and put in your pocket.
But you can still put
Remember,
porn in your pocket. not
remember,
folding.
the screens got bigger when you realize that you
I
can
mean,
watch like high definition
It's-
quality porn.
It's not a joke that porn drives innovation. It's not a joke.
No, it's not a joke.
No,
I'm
I
being
believe
quite
that's
serious
true.
here.
But I still think foldable devices are dumb. I don't get the use case for them.
Porn. Look,
It reminds
porn,
me of that song,
fold,
The Internet
pocket.
is
But
Porn.
But what's a foldable phone gonna do that a tablet wouldn't do for you already?
But you argued that
Because you can't put
Well,
it in your pocket.
a long time
You
ago.
can, though.
Hold
But
on.
it's a big screen.
Hold on. A
in
long
your
time
pocket.
ago, Doxy argued that you don't need a tablet ever. The phone does everything that you need.
I still stick by that.
Yeah. So again,
But it's a
porn,
bigger screen.
fold, pocket.
At what point in your life are you going to be somewhere where you want to watch porn on a tablet, but not like your TV? You're not going to be in an airport
Yo,
watching
man.
porn. You're not going to be.
No, I'm saying headphones and a corner. That's all you need.
That is not all you need, and I'm very disgusted. Like,
Hold on.
the idea that someone's on a fucking tablet somewhere in a corner watching porn. Go home. Go fucking home.
You asked for use cases.
I would agree
okay?
with Doxy
This is
here.
not a use.
I'm not
case.
saying I'm an advocate for
You
it.
got real excited about it.
All you need is a corner, especially if it's.
I'm not saying I'm an advocate for it. What I'm saying is,
Sounds like you're fighting me real
you
hard
asked for
on this.
use cases. I gave you use cases.
when we see Chen going to a corner with headphones, we need
Which
to know
put the
what's
headphones
happening.
It's time to go home for everybody.
It might be that time.
What a perfect segue.
All right, so let's wind this up, or round this down, wind
Wrap
this
it
down,
up?
wrap it up.
You really got your.
Okay, I'm curious. Do you know what these 4 words are?
I think one was casually.
It's killing me.
Casually.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 1 is awkward.
Okay.
That's 2.
Anybody in the community?
Yeah.
might
Do we have any suggestions on what these 4 words were? What?
Empathetic.
Ah, I heard that before. Good job.
Yeah.
All right, I'd say empathetic. I'd agree.
Nostalgic.
No, that was me. That was all me.
No, she said nostalgic.
Yeah, but it was off of my story, and she already had this
I
challenge.
mean, that was,
so-
what a fucking perfect.
what a crazy
So
coincidence.
do we want to know what the words were?
Yes.
Did we guess
So-
any of them?
Yeah. Did we guess any of
No.
them? God damn it.
Lampshade.
Lampshade.
That story was a complete lie.
Shit.
Necklace.
Ah!
No, see, you did lie because you said one before. I asked if you had said any of them before the show started.
No.
Of course you
I had-
did lie.
At that point, I hadn't. I had not said necklace at that point.
The lampshade was a lie?
The story was a complete
But
lie.
that actually. Oh, shit.
I made that cockapoo.
When
And
did you
I
say
said,
cockapoo?
I said,
When
oh,
you
you
were
like
talking
a cute cockapoo.
I heard you say that, and I was like, I don't know what word she said, but I feel like that was one of them.
Hold on, wait. When did we say cockapoo?
She said it.
You're so
she,
cute like a cockapoo, like
she
a dog.
mumbled it real fast.
Like a cockapoo.
That doesn't.
She was talking about
count.
dogs,
It
right?
does.
Yeah, I heard that one.
Like a little puppy dog, like a cockapoo.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
I fucking knew.
And then Netflix.
Okay,
Netflix? Oh, come on.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
We say Netflix at
But,
least twice an episode.
I mean,
Well, that was a big L for us.
well,
we should try this again. It'd be fun. We should do like a
Sure.
weekly challenge.
All right, for those of you who don't know, with Michelle here, she brings us challenges every week and makes us hate ourselves later. The first one was that spicy challenge, which was actually pretty cool.
I don't think it ever got on YouTube. the
It is.
page.
Oh, no.
It is
on
hidden.
YouTube?
It is
no, I
hidden.
said it's hidden away
Yes.
Oh, it's hidden.
So if you weren't here for that, good.
because we were supposed to do a spicy wing challenge,
Yeah, we were.
which sounds much better than eating a spoonful of hot sauce.
Spice.
Yeah, you're gonna do it, and we're gonna ask you the questions.
But you guys also have to eat the wings
Why?
Wow.
They're not asking me
because it's
questions.
not fun
No,
that
you two
way.
were gonna do
if
it,
you
and I was gonna-
if you don't eat the wings with me, it's not fun because then you're just cool and I'm also
Are we
cool.
doing this next week or the week after?
Do you have wings?
I mean, I can get
We
wings.
could get wings.
I can get wings and hot sauces. I can get the 10 sauces and the wings. You guys got to eat them.
It would have to be after the show though.
after. But that's not the point.
You don't want to do that during the show. It's very
I think
boring.
you do.
I promise I don't have enough to
Okay.
talk about to fill.
Time
Okay.
out.
Okay.
All right, so we fucking lost. I can't believe you lied about the lampshade. I thought we had something in common here. But
No,
that's why she's the
that's-
social engineer.
That's a completely made up fictional story. I did have one of those lampshades growing up though, but it was not in the house, and
I don't believe you anymore.
I mean, she is.
I told you not to believe anything I say.
God damn.
She's a what? What do you say? A theater trained actress?
Yeah, I suppose.
Classically.
Classically trained.
Classically trained
You
actress.
say most actresses and actors are trained in a theater, Doxy.
Not all of them. Some of them just show up.
Some are, yeah, some just like, bam.
That's what I'm hoping for.
That's what you're,
You're hoping to be an actor.
No,
Go big
Jesus
or go
Christ,
home.
no, dude.
I was gonna say, like, you're one of the most introverted motherfuckers I know.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's,
We don't got to get into that
he's
now.
way introverted.
I didn't know this. I mean,
Yeah.
I only talked to him here. I'm so extroverted that nobody feels
He'll park
introverted to
outside,
me.
and like if nobody's at the bar or whatever yet, he'll stay in his.
Why are you telling people this stuff?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Someone else.
Yeah, I'm gonna just dox the dox. Right.
Docs.
Anyway, as you know, we don't do lightning rounds anymore because it's all the same
boring.
things. People got hacked, passwords need to be changed, and companies need to be held liable.
Yeah.
Liable.
Libel.
No, liable.
Liable.
All right,
Slander.
anyway.
Level.
So this has been another episode of Greynoise. I haven't done this in 2 weeks. What do we do? Oh, yes.
Bye.
Every week, 7:30 p.m. here at the shop, 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in Henderson, Nevada. Go to synshop.org for more information on the shop as a hackerspace and stuff like that. Go to meetup.com/synshop for the classes and the stuff that we teach here. And for information on us, go to Greynoise, GREYNOI.SE. Remember, we do not talk shit about Sweden, so we can actually legally keep using that domain, as far as I know.
And the lockpicking night next is on the 14th.
Yes,
And I'll be there teaching, getting a lock and reassembling a lock.
Yes, she's going to be the new subject matter expert, or
No.
SME.
SME, yeah.
Subject matter expert on
SME.
repinning locks, because I don't do that stuff. Anyway, my name is Master Chen.
This is Doxy.
And I'm Michelle.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Why is it always so hot in here? Is it just me?
Usually get closer to Doxy, he might light you on fire.